So this is another house that I wholesaled in perfect condition. This is just the front of it. I'll show you all the inside of it. What's up, everyone? So I'm here in another property I wholesaled. This is a beautiful 3-2 property, actually 3 bathrooms in a good area around where I live. And I'm wholesaling it, and I may be able to make 18 grand or more with this property. It's in perfect condition, good condition, just popcorn ceiling, some wallpaper I need to fix, but look at the flooring. All right, you all. Backyard area. And so yeah, I just want you all to make sure you keep on trying. You can find houses like these, and this is a gem of a house. Look at it, they even have true green on the grass. Pick this up just from a postcard. So you can still find deals out there. All right, you all. I hope you all really enjoyed this video. Really go out there and to take massive and perfect action like Wholesaling Inc. says. All right, I hope you all enjoyed that section of the video. I try to be more visual with you all, show you all the different properties. I wholesale, take you all along on the journey at closing, like the last video I showed, and just to document this journey with you all. I'm gonna talk more right now about the property itself and different properties that you should target in your wholesaling real estate business. Now with this particular property, over the phone, the seller told me that this was a 3-2, meaning this was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property, right? And when I actually went there with the buyer, we noticed that on the main level, it was 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but there was a basement. It's sort of like a split level. It wasn't like a basement, so to say, lower level or whatnot. And there was another bedroom and bath in that property. And so this property was basically, essentially, a 4-bedroom, 3-property house. And as I told you all before, I got this property for just under 100 grand, which is amazing. And the seller actually told us that, hey, I know you all are getting a good deal. This is an excellent deal for you. And, you know, I'm very upfront with my sellers. And so she knew that we were investors and we don't buy properties at market value. We get them lower than market value. And I did let her know, hey, this is a good property. Why don't you list it with a realtor? Why don't you try to do simple fixes yourself and sell it yourself? And I think that truly builds trust among you and the seller. And I know a lot of you all, a lot of beginners are kind of afraid to say that, to be a truth teller like Wholesaling Inc. says. You know, I listen to other podcasts and other channels too, but saying the truth, telling the truth to your seller is key. And it builds that trust among you and the seller. And so basically, yeah, I got it at a very good deal. So this was the property. And now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the criteria I used on listsource.com to find this property and the different types of properties I marketed to. So the criteria I used, number one, was this was an owner-occupied property. So basically what that means is that this is a property that an owner actually lives in the property. So absentee owners are people who don't live in the properties, but they still own it. So owner-occupied, the owner lives there. And the second criteria was this was high equity. So I put on listsource, hey, look for properties that the owner owns 70% or more of the property, meaning they paid off 70% or more of a loan on this property if they ever got a loan for this property. Now, this property in particular, they owned it free and clear. I believe they bought it cash and everything, so it was already free and clear. Now, the third criteria, so I have a lot of criteria here, was that I put ages in this property. And this is something that a lot of people don't do or don't tell you all, like putting the owner's age of the property. So a lot of times the properties that you're wholesaling, they're usually older properties with older owners. And so in this criteria, I put, okay, the owner has to be 50 years old or older. And sometimes listsource doesn't know the age of the property, the age of the owner of the property. And so I also included into the criteria unknown. So I know for sure I'm getting everyone. And I always put unknown for equity too, because you never know what's going to happen. And plus, this county that I'm working in is kind of small, so I always include unknowns into my criterias. And then the fourth criteria I put is how long they own this property for. So I made sure that they own this property for 15 years or more, which is actually a long time. Like, it could have been 10, but what I basically wanted to do was replicate how I got my first deal to get my second deal. So I saw my second deal was an older gentleman. It was a property that he owned for over 20 years, and he had high equity in this property. And so basically, I just replicated that and to get my second deal. And so let's just go over the criteria again. So number 1, owner occupied. Number 2, high equity. Number 3, the owner's age was 50 years old or more or unknown. And then number 4 was how long did they own the property? And I said year of ownership, basically 15 years or more. And so that was the sort of criteria that I used to find this property. And that's a criteria that you all can use within your county, within your state or city, wherever you're working in your wholesaling business. Now, the type of properties that you all should market, I really highly recommend you all to, if you get any lead, to take it very seriously. Even if it's a house that's worth $20,000, if you can make $2,000 or $3,000, hey, do it. Put the reps in. Make sure you're able to get as much practice as you can. Because number 1, you are serving people, right? If somebody comes across to you and they're battling and you only can make $1,500, $2,000, do it. Still help them out. Because number 1, you're trying to help these people in their situation. And another thing to recognize, number 2, it's the experience that you gain. Like I was saying before, put your reps in. Even if the house is worth $500,000 and there's no way you can get this deal, but the owner wants to meet with you, still go on that deal, see what you can do. Even if there's not much cash buyers within that criteria of houses, still go and see what you can do. You never know what's going to happen. And, like with this particular property, I got it for just under $100,000. And this property, as is, could probably sell for $170,000. And I sold it to a cash buyer for $118,000. So altogether, he was probably in like $120,000, $121,000, which is an amazing deal. Like him not doing anything. I could have taken it down myself with hard money, but the thing is, the owner wanted to stay another month or so, or even more. And I just didn't want to deal with that, and I needed money to pay some bills and whatnot. But fixed up, taking off the wallpaper, making sure everything is clean, maybe taking out the carpet, this house could probably sell for $200,000 easily. So I know I got a deal for the buyer, I made my fee, and the owner was able to get some money and still live in the property for another month. And so this is a really service business. And so the property itself, you all should target is just any property that you're able to get. I hope you all really enjoyed this video. I'm going to post more videos about this property, going more in depth with you all. It's good getting a deal done because I get to document it for you all, to post videos about it, to give you all more content, just for me, so I can look back on these videos and see how I was able to get this deal and the different steps that it took. So I'll be talking about the HUD statement. I think that's another thing that a lot of wholesalers do not post about. Where does the assignment fee goes, what does proration of tax means, and different things like that. And so that will be coming soon to this channel, and also how I got this lead, how I was able to talk to the seller and the different things we said, and the different things that arose from this deal, the ups and downs, and also how I was able to find a cash buyer like the same day with this property. And yeah, it only took me 10 days to close from talking to the seller to receiving my check, which is amazing turnover. And different ups and downs with the cash buyer, because I'm still learning how to navigate a cash buyer to let him know, hey, this is my deal. I'm running a business here. I am talking to other cash buyers and other things like that. And so, just dealing with that. I hope you all would enjoy that video, as I'm going to post it soon, probably sometime this week or next week on this channel. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Once again, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and comment down below. All right, thank you.